Hello YouTube, my name is Mac Hilton, and today I'm going to be showing you my guide of Pyramid Plunder. Before we begin, I'd like to point out that I only have 71 thieving. So if you have 81 or 91 thieving, you can do the two highest floors and you'll be getting significantly higher thieving experience per hour than I am. Now, before we go and get started, in order to do Pyramid Plunder, you must have at least started Urchin's Little Helper. Although finishing it and the quest Contact is a big help, as you can use the bank nearby, and I would recommend doing that as it saves time, teleports, and cash. The way that I usually get to Pyramid Plunder is with a Pharaoh's Scepter. You can simply right-click and teleport directly into the pyramid where you can start a minigame. However, there are other methods like using a Ring of Dueling to Alcair Duel Arena and then taking the magic carpet down to Sophanum. Both methods work just well, but this method is of course the fastest, but you need to make sure that you recharge after every third teleport. You see, I only have one teleport left, meaning next time I'm gonna have to recharge, which is why I have 12 stone scarabs with me. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Notice when you come in, there'll be a guardian mummy. This is who you talk to start the minigame. Before I start the minigame, I'm going to recharge my scepter. Also, a habit I've gotten into that's worked pretty well is to drink an anti-poison potion before entering the minigame. This is what your inventory should look like. You should have at least one super anti, because one dose of a super anti-poison will last you the 5 minutes of the minigame. You also want to be dressed lightweight. You will have to do some tanking in the minigame, but I wouldn't recommend bringing armor just because you'll be doing a lot of running around, especially if you're going to the higher up floors. You can see I'm wearing desert robes and my Pharaoh's Scepter along with a spotty ear cape. You can also bring boots of lightness if you have them available. I don't, so I'm not wearing them, but a spotty ear cape will do just fine. I never run out of energy. So, one thing that I always do is I drink beforehand, so I don't have to drink during the minigame, so I can save time. There's a right-click option to start the minigame on the Guardian money. And we're in. There'll always be a spear trap on the wall that you need to disarm before going into the room. In every room there's a grand gold chest which you can search and get a chance of finding a Pharaoh's Scepter in it. Even if it does slow you down a bit, which it does, I would recommend doing it because if you have a chance to make a couple mil in a trip, then you might as well do it, right? What I would recommend doing is going directly to your second highest floor. This will maximize experience. It'll give you enough time to complete your second highest floor and then your highest floor. You don't have to waste time doing these lower floors that won't give you as much experience. My highest floor at the moment is 6 with 71 thieving. So I'm going to go up to floor 5 first, and then I'm going to start clearing it out. You may be wondering what these artifacts are I'm getting. The artifacts are what is used to charge the Pharaoh's Scepter, which is what I would recommend using them for. There's another use. You can sell them to an NPC located at the Agility Pyramid, I believe. But he doesn't buy them for very much money, and they're more use if you decide to charge up a scepter with them, which I would recommend doing. Alright, I'm in my second highest floor at the moment, so we're going to begin searching the urns. What I would recommend doing for this is simply clicking on the urns. You get more experience this way. Instead of right-clicking and checking for snakes, you get significantly less experience. Each urn, as you can see, gives me about 300 experience, which is pretty good experience. You may also notice this bar here in the top right of my screen. It represents how much time I have left. each minigame you are allowed 5 minutes to plunder the pyramid. I would recommend, what I usually do is I stay in my second highest room until the timer gets just below the experience counter. It's just a visual that helps me know when it's time to go to my highest floor, because your highest floor is where you want to be. That's the most experience, that's why you're doing the minigame, not for all the lower floors. Alright, as you can see, I'm just below, but I just want to finish that urn. Want to check, and now we want to open up all the doors. You can see that each door is now giving 200 experience, so even the doors grant a decent number of experience. Alright, this is my highest floor. And I failed on a spear trap. Okay. Usually, once you do this a couple of times, you'll realize that there is... You can set patterns to the rooms of like how you want to clear it out and everything. It's personal preference really, but usually you obviously want to start with urns that are closer to you and work with far away. It's a good idea to do. As you get to higher floors, the snakes that bite you from the urns will deal more damage, so you may need to bring higher food. I bring sharks, but I believe monkfish work just as well. After 4 floors, which is when my anti-poison will be done, I usually have at least 2 or 3 sharks left over, so yeah. Also, from Dungeoneering, you can get an anti-poison totem. Those are extremely helpful for this. I have the tokens necessary and the herb lore and everything to wear it. I just don't want to spend the tokens on it at the moment since I'm saving up for a chaotic rapier. But if you have the tokens lying around and you don't know what to spend it on, I would recommend buying an anti-poison totem for this, because it significantly lowers the cost of doing it. You no longer need to buy anti-poisons, and you'll be able to use more inventory for food, which will in turn allow you to stay longer, so you'll get more experience per hour. And that is the end of this guide. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to drop a comment. Like the video if you would like to see more guides, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.